With oil riggers spotting a UFO hovering over an oil rig for over 10 seconds and UFO clips like this, and this, it's spicing up in the UFO sphere because there is a lot of things going on, and we're going to be taking a look at some of these clips. I vetted them. They are good clips. I don't think I can quote debunk them, but you know, they are some of the better clips that I could stumble across. But the last thing that we're going to be talking about in this video being an oil rig with a UFO hovering over it, that you're not going to want to miss it. So strap yourselves in. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Let's get it. First clip comes from a triangle UFO in Slovakia, and if you take a look at this, you'll see what I'm talking about. It very remnant of a very famous UFO sighting about 40 years ago. Take a look at this. Right, so looking at the clip, obviously, you know, you can tell that it's a single entity because there's three lights moving consistently in the same direction at the same pace, exactly, you know, in uniform. So I think it's three lights on the same craft. And as you watch it move, you can definitely see it moving. If you use like this kind of star right here as reference, you can see as the clip moves on, the craft, it moves past the stars, and obviously the person recording is skimming through it as well. And yeah, other than the fact that it was recorded, obviously we've got the time and day, which was the 14th of March 2024 at 10:59 p.m. We've got coordinates here, which is pretty cool, and Slovakia. That's the only information that we've got regarding this. And the caption just read, "This thing was spotted in Bratislava yesterday. What is it?" And I think that this could genuinely be a UFO. Just kind of looking at the way that it moves, the way that it doesn't look of any. If it was a plane, it would have those kind of flashing lights. If it's got, you know, if it was something of human origin, there would be telltale signs that would tell us this is human made. We can kind of put that to bed, but there's not. Unless you guys have noticed anything, and if you have, get down in the comments and let me know. While you do that, I'm going to move on to the next clip, which comes from a viewer actually, who posted this or sent this over to me. So thank you so much for sending this over. Check this out. What's your thoughts? Didn't seem to like a plain flashing light to the naked eye. Not sure, putting it out there. And we're going to take a little look at this clip. So let's see.
I totally thought that was a star. I thought that was like Jupiter or whatever. Not a star, excuse me, a planet. But it was stationary, and then it started moving. It's not doing any kind of flashing. I'm trying to keep it still. Dude, it just disappeared.
Now, when I first saw this clip, I watched it a couple of times and I thought, well, could it be Starlink, you know, or a satellite? Because if you see Starlinks and satellites, you know, I've kind of mentioned this in a recent video, as it kind of comes over into the sky, you can see it move. But Starlinks are so much quicker than this. They move so much quicker. And like it was said in the video, there is no flashing telltale signs, once again, that this is of human origin. But if you take a little look at the just the way that it moves, it's too slow for it to be Starlink, in my opinion. So therefore, I don't have a logical explanation, but I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Do you think this is a UFO, or do you think this could be a satellite of some kind, and it's just moving at a slower pace than normal? Let me know your thoughts. Anyway, next clip that we're going to take a look at. It's not so much a clip of a UFO, but it comes from James Fox. So if you know who James Fox is, he's very, very vocal in the paranormal, the UFO sphere. And he posted a video saying, if you ever see a UFO photograph with crystal clear defined edges, it's probably fake. And I actually remember saying this not too long ago. I always kind of put my evidence down to how... It's so annoying because people are like, we want clear images. We're sick of these UFOs and aliens being recorded on potatoes. And then you finally get one that's not recorded on a potato and you're like, no, that's way too clear for it to be a legit... This has got to be fake. It's a double-edged sword. We can't... No one can win. But this is what James Fox had to say on the matter.
Some interesting aspect with your audience, and that is, if you ever see a UFO photograph with crystal clear defined edges, it's probably a fake. They don't know why, but there's something to do with the propulsion, they're guessing,
Right.
that causes the edges to blur ever so slightly. Like if you look at a legitimate, bona fide, good photograph that has been like scrutinized to death, like 1950 McMinnville, Oregon, or 1964, 65, the UFO worker that snapped off 3 or 4 Polaroids. I'm looking at his face right now. It'll come to me in a second, but you'll see that the edges are slightly blurred. And according to witnesses or specialists that I've talked to, that's a pretty good indicator. That coupled with the testimony of the person that shot it. Santa Ana, Rex Heflin, 1965, he shot, I think, 3 or 4 Polaroids. And the edges, great pictures, points of reference, broad daylight, light reflecting off the object, fantastic. If you zoomed in on it, on the originals, the edges are slightly blurred, just like this one.
So what do you make of that? Obviously, that's quite a polarizing opinion because you could swing one way and you can look at it from the point of view of it has to be blurry to be legit. It has to be, I lost my train of thought there, sorry. So what do you make of this? Obviously, it's quite a polarizing thought and process to kind of go for because, you can go down the route of it has to be blurry for it to be real, or you can go down the route of it has to be crystal clear. But, I think no one is ever going to win unless they actually see it with their own eyes. Because with the advancements of technology, video editing, photography editing, it's almost impossible to take videos, although we do it on this channel, but that's it's fun to speculate and it's fun to actually be like, what if this is true? It's almost impossible to take that as a guaranteed 100% this definitely happened. So it's an interesting talking point nonetheless, but what do you guys think? Does it have to be clear for it to be real, or does it have to be blurry for it to be real? Get down in the comments, let me know what you think. This is the last clip that we're going to take a look at before we get into the meat and bones of this video. So this one, literally no backstory to it whatsoever, just a clip. So not much to really go off of, but let's take a look at this. So when I first saw this, I was like, well, that's just the same video from a different angle of the one that we saw at the very beginning of this video. But it's not, because as you watch this one, the way that it moves, the lights move, they are not consistent. They kind of come closer, they go further apart, very slightly, but they do. So that kind of leads me to believe that there's 3 separate craft going on here. 1, 2, 3. And as they move across the screen, you can see this one dips back, this one comes in, the triangle changes shape a bit. Now that could be down to perspective. It could be the same lights, and it could just be the angles and the lights, the craft moving and the lights moving with it. But look at how low this is. This is incredibly low in comparison to other UFO clips that you see around the internet. This is, well, you've got a lamppost here, and this is probably no more than maybe a couple of houses high up. So it's a really interesting one. and I don't know what to make of it, if I'm perfectly honest. So that's why I wanted to include it within this video. But the last thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is there has been some hot news coming out about an oil rigger who spotted a UFO hovering for 10 minutes above the deck before zooming off in an instant on the Mexican coast, where locals believe there is submerged alien bases. Now, this was the kind of part that reeled me in, because at this point I was like, it's just, you know, just anything. But because of the kind of the lore and the backstory that comes with the location, adds a bit of credibility. So, a pair of UFOs was spotted soaring over an oil rig off the coast of Mexico, where locals have claimed is home to be a secret underwater alien base. A crew member of the vessel near Tampico snapped 2 images, one showing a saucer-shaped craft with glowing lights circling the base, and the other with a triangular design and 3 lights at the bottom. The witness said the UAPs hovered for what seemed like 10 minutes and then just zoomed off in an instant. So these are the snaps that the people got. So obviously this is one of the the 2 UFOs that was sighted. So we've got just the raw image here, and you can see up here we've got this very strange circular with all of these lights underneath, which kind of emphasize the circular shape. And obviously we got perspective here because we've got the rig here. This is a zoomed in version of that craft. This, I don't know how you can disrepute that as anything else. But what makes this interesting is the second image, because you'd think if you saw a pair of UFOs, they would be consistent with one another. They'd be the same shape, they'd be the same craft, same shape, you know, similar characteristics. No, the next one that was captured was a triangular one with, again, these 3 lights along the base, which it doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. We've got 2 different shaped crafts. Again, we've got perspective here with the rig, and I don't know. I can't make rhyme or reason of it. You know, whenever we've seen craft together in videos, or photos, it's always been consistent with one another. Well, this isn't. This is just 2 separate things, and it is so weird. It's so weird. But what are they doing over oil rigs? That's the question. But obviously, with the backstory of it being near these underwater alien bases, could these be USOs, unidentified submersible objects, coming out of the ocean nearby and then just kind of shooting off overhead? It's a plausible theory. So what do you guys make of it? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on everything in this video, but especially about this oil rig, because this is saucy. So while you're down there, be sure to jump the hell out of that like button if you have not already. Subscribe if you're new, and tickle my little bell so you get notified whenever we upload. And until next time, guys, I hope that you have enjoyed. I cannot wait to see you in the next one, and I'll speak to you later. Peace.